Hello mga kababayan, welcome to my channel. Welcome to Laruan ni Obi-Wan. Okay, so before I take this figure out of packaging, let us first marvel at how it is presented to us while in box form. So the markings, the Marvel Legends series markings actually is not printed on the front of the plastic or the transparent plastic or window. Actually it is inside. So we already have the markings, warning signs, etc. from Hasbro. We have the name of the figure on the left side, and we have more images of the figure in very glossy form, and presenting the figure in all of the accessories that are possibly included. So we have two hammers, we have interchangeable heads and interchangeable hairs, and we have the hammer that could be stored on the side of Thor. Really nice, cool feature. That's why in the action figure that I customized before I got the Thor Love and Thunder action figure, I presented it with a peg on the side of the hip, because I already had this figure and I really love that feature wherein Thor has storage for the hammer. So finally, let's take this out of packaging and marvel at this really awesome 12-inch action figure. So we have the minor accessories that the 12-inch Thor actually comes with. So minor accessories because the head sculpt actually is a really fun thing. It's a what I call a main integral part of the figure, but at the same time I consider it as an accessory. But first, let us dwell with the things that we have on the table. So we have fist hands, so we have a pair of them. We have accessory holding hands for the hammers, so if you want a combination left and right accessory holding hand, that is possible. And if you want a combination of one fist hand and one accessory holding hand, that is also possible. Or if you want a Thor that has a hammer hanging just on the side, securely on the side, and he's ready to rumble with fists, that is also possible. So that is with the handsets that are included with this action figure, and actually the mold is really nice on this. So the color on the fingers actually is a match for the rest of the body and the face of the action figure. So we have color uniformity for the handsets. So especially if you compare two handsets, they share the same color. Okay, so let's go to the hammers. So we have a hammer that is painted overall in silver, while the other one is semi-transparent, as if this hammer is ready to invoke a lightning strike. So I think that is the effect that this thing is going for, but actually that is the thing that this accessory suffers, because we could see through the hammer and we could see through at how these two things connect actually as one piece to give us this whole hammer piece. So I think finally I'll be deciding to just be painting this hammer just like the other one. So I have two hammers on board for that 12-inch Thor, or possibly because I still have the 12-inch Captain America, I could give the other hammer to Captain America as something like a worthy Captain America thing. Okay, so these two hammers actually share some features. So the hammerhead actually rotates, so that is also present in the other hammer. Actually that thing is present because, for example, if you're going to pose the figure in a flight stance, so he's going to hold on to the strap. So you're going to have an accessory holding hands, so you're going to possibly do this thing, or just straight put that strap into the hand, and you could rotate the hammerhead according to your flight pose or flight path. So flying forward this way, if you want a pose that Thor is flying through the air with the hammer this way, that's possible. If you want that way, that is also possible. And that is also a feature that is present with this semi-transparent hammer, which I'll be finally painting as a whole silver piece, just like this. So let's move on to the head accessory. So we have the two head sculpts that are available for this 12-inch scale figure. So this head sculpts of Thor actually suffers from alopecia because charap. So we have that option, and that's why I call it an accessory, because we could swap and swap and swap depending on what we really like. So we have a Thor that has alopecia, so he has a wig on actually. Anyway, so the helmet is a separate piece, and let's take a look at the detail of that helmet. So really fine helmet, pays homage to the classic Thor that we know, especially if this thing is painted white, then it's going to look really classic. So we have a bearded head sculpt and a non-bearded head sculpt. But actually, if you take a look at the two head sculpts, they share the same features. Only this one has a beard on and actually has gritting teeth, while this face sculpt has a very placid face. So what you call a uninterested look. Anyway, so this is how the head sculpts look from above and from the back. So they are ready to take on any of the accessory pieces that you wish to place on it. Now, if you want a Thor without the helmet, then it is possible. So if you want a bearded guy, then you could have a bearded Thor figure with that really nice flowing hair. Now, if you want a Thor without a beard, or a Thor that has just newly shaven, then you could also have that. So just swap the heads for interchangeability. So really cool feature, and that is a look at the lack of the hair on the back. Actually, this other piece is just in case you want to use of the head sculpts with the use of the helmet. So actually, this is a special piece that goes through there, and you choose which head sculpt you want to use, so whether this one or that one, and then you just swap on this thing first and then put on the helmet. So let us demonstrate. So if you choose this, then just do that, swap the head or the hair piece on, and there you go. And this is how it looks without the helmet on. And we have a heavy lock of the helmet, and we're ready to engage the helmet on the head sculpt. There you go. So actually, this is when I display the 12-inch Thor in my collection, this is the headpiece that I always go for. So yeah, more on the classic look Thor that I grew up on. So let's go to the main course, or the main meat of this review, which is the figure. So we finally have the 12-inch Marvel Legends Thor in all his glory. So this is it. So let's put in our Thor Love and Thunder action figure. So for size comparison. So that is how that action figure fares with this 12-inch figure. So there you go. So the cape on this action figure is really not just a simple cloth cape. Actually, it is really nice and glossy. So even from the non-smooth side, so this is the outer cape, so you could see that it is somehow more is also glossy, but compared to the inner liner of the cape, which is darker, this is a little bit brighter. The shade is actually different. So this cape shares the same shade inside and out, but this one has a different shade for the outer versus the inner. So the inner is of different shades. So really nice touch. So the cape also drapes really well up to the foot of the figures. Actually, it slides on the table. So there you go. Really nice looking cape. Really for the future king of Asgard. So there you go. So we have the hammer just slung in storage on the side of Thor. So we have that other belt, and we have a loop on the side where you could sling that hammer and have Thor looking this way in your display section or your display case. So instead of letting him hold on to a hammer, you could also do this so as to save on space. So as to the points of articulation of this action figure, it sports standard Marvel Legends articulation points. So we have a swivel and a ball for the neck. So we have that kind of articulation for the head area. But because of the accessory gimmick of the head, sometimes when you articulate the head sculpt, the helmet sometimes would lift off from the head and also with the hair. So that's it, because as you could see, the side of the hair actually is molded to this side, to the back, and some of the braids are resting up front. So of course, when you move that head sculpt left and right, back and forth, and with that removable feature, you have that thing that it somehow disengages from its point of contact. Have a ball on the body over here for rotation, but we also have an ab crunch, but we don't have a cut on the waistline for articulation point, but we have an ab crunch present there. So bending backwards and forwards is possible, and circular movement for the body or the abdomen is also possible. So as for the arms, both arms, we have nice rotation, we have sideways motion, we also have a bicep cut for rotation, 2 points of articulation for the elbow, and that is a pin joint. We also have a swivel and rotation for the hands. Now the swivel for the hands would be different on the left side and on the right side. For the right side, for the accessory holding hand, the swivel would be on the thumb over here, but for the fists, which attaches to the left side, and the other accessory holding hand which attaches to the left side, just take a look at the swivel points for those handsets. So they would be different. As for articulation on the leg area, even if we have quite a stiff skirt on this action figure, actually posing with the legs is still okay. So we also have a cut on the thighs for rotation. So we have forward movement for the entire leg, sideways movement for the entire leg. We also have 2 points of articulation for the knee. We have a swivel for the foot, and we have rocker for the foot. So we don't have let me check if that is I might miss it. So do we have, okay, so we also have a cut on the shin for rotation of the boot or circular movement of the boot. So we have a hinge, and we have a rocker, and we have that articulation point, so just above the wrap over here. So this is really a nice looking action. If you like this video, do like, comment, and subscribe. And once again, this is Laruan ni Obi-Wan. See you on the next toy review.